Welcome back to America Decides. Inflation last month, slightly lower than experts predicted. Today, the president claimed, well, it was even better than it looked.
Groceries, gasoline, energy, and all other prices are down with no inflation. We have no inflation.
In fact, the Consumer Price Index rose 2.2% month over month. It also increased 2.3% on a yearly basis. CBS News MoneyWatch correspondent Kelly O'Grady joins me now from Studio 57. Kelly, break it all down for us. What is most interesting to you about this new batch of data?
So overall, it was actually quite a good report. I think any other month, any other time, this would give a green light to the Federal Reserve to actually lower interest rates because we are moving closer to that 2% target. Lowest annual number when it comes to inflation we have seen since February 2021. But the big question is, well, are tariffs going to impact this? The most interesting part of the report was vehicle parts, auto parts. That actually rose 2.2% on a monthly basis. And as you just said, the monthly number on average was 0.2%. So that's a huge jump. And that's where you're starting to see the tariff impact creep in. Because remember, we had the 10% tariff on China go into effect at the beginning of February. Then it got up to 20%. Now it's at 30%, down from 145. It does show you we're starting to see the impacts of tariffs. And we're going to see more and more as months go on how that's going to flow through to other sectors.
And Kelly, I've been reading that one of the reasons that this data came in as positively as it did was there was a lot of pulling forward of inventory, meaning inventory was enlarged, meaning there was more available for consumers to buy in anticipation of tariffs, which meaning all that inventory was sort of at the old pre-tariff prices, meaning more stable than they otherwise might have been. True?
That's exactly right. And I went and I said, okay, I got to see what new cars look like, because in theory, that 25% tariff went into effect in March. You would likely see a big increase there. It was flat, 0.0%. And that's because, to your point, there was a lot of inventory. People went out, bought cars and things ahead of that deadline. And we have seen a lot of other sectors import goods. That's why GDP was negative the first quarter, because that surge in imports. And that's reflected in these prices have stayed stable ahead of potential increases over the coming months.
And there really is no way to look into this data and peer into our inflationary future, though, is there?
I wish, right? I wish I had a crystal ball. I would be able to time the market major. No, and that's exactly why the Federal Reserve is going to hold interest rates positive or hold interest rates steady, because they don't know what the impact is going to be in the coming months.
Always a pleasure. Kelly O'Grady, thanks so much for breaking it down.